Okay. All right. Good morning. I'm here with Brian King, Director of Golf Instruction at Prairie Landing Club in St. Charles, Illinois. Coach King is also participating as a coach with TechniqueDoctor. Coach King, thanks for taking the time out of your day to allow TechniqueDoctor fans to get to know you a little better. First things first, Coach. Who introduced you to golf?
I had a whole bunch of friends who went to play golf when I was just about before my freshman year of high school, so I was planning to play football, and I thought, well, I'll give this golf thing a try. I'll go get some clubs and go with my buddies, and at the end of the summer, they decided to play football, and I kind of continued on with golf, and I think it probably worked out the best for me.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, in your career and all the trials and tribulations of playing golf, what's the one thing about the game that you love the most?
Competition, the process of practice and play, the process of learning new shots and being able to take those to the golf course and put them under competition and see what kind of score you can make, play it, and having the tournament competition experience of counting every stroke and making every shot count and having a total at the end and playing against other players both within the group and in the tournament. That's the part I like the most.
Makes sense, and that coincides with our next question is, you started competing at such a young age. What did that competition, how did that help you down the road?
It helped a great deal. As that summer after my freshman year, I played in almost every tournament I could find. My parents got me to the golf course and got me to the tournaments, so without them it would have been hard, but they gave me that experience, and I played in so many tournaments as a kid and on my way through high school that tournaments weren't quite so intimidating over time, and so that helped me learning to play and focus on just myself, and the tournament wasn't quite as intimidating at a higher level. So it was just the volume and the experience makes it much easier to feel comfortable when you're playing at different levels of tournament competition.
And I'm sure with each tournament you gain more and more confidence. But it mentioned you started prior to high school, so obviously you weren't great right away. At what age did you start to excel at the game?
That's that year, the freshman year I played on the high school team, Rockford Guilford high school team. I averaged about 45, but it was that year when I saw the varsity guys with their bag and all the matching clothes and things at the time that's really what I wanted. So the next summer I practiced virtually every day and played every day all summer, and with the goal of getting on that varsity and getting one of those bags. That was the coveted prize at the time. Mm-hmm. And my average as a freshman was about 45, and then after that summer of practice and dedication and tournaments, got to be about 39 by the end of my sophomore year on the team.
So that's a lot of improvement through a lot of hard work. Now you continued your playing career post high school and through college and beyond. In your bio that you mentioned that the pinnacle of your personal playing career was playing at the Motorola Open at Cog Hill. Can you tell us about that experience and what that's all about?
That was pretty great. That was it was an 18-hole qualifier, and the top 4 players in the qualifier got into the Motorola Western Open at Cog Hill. It's been many years ago, but that experience was the pinnacle of any golfer's, competitive golfer's career. I mean, that was it was a really intimidating experience at the time, but once it came and I got to have that experience, it was definitely a life changer in terms of what I do and now teaching and coaching. It gave me a great experience of all those years playing in tournaments. That was the culmination of lots of good things.
I'm sure all that experience you'll reflect back after those big tournaments, and that's what's helped you teach kids and adults throughout the rest of your career.
Yeah, most definitely. I come at teaching and coaching from a little different avenue than most, having been a competitor for so many years. There's no students that really stand in front of me who I haven't had their experience at some point. I'm a player, a practicer, and struggling to improve just like every other golfer, so I know exactly what every golfer goes through and what they feel in tournaments, and there's really not too much that the juniors or any golfer can go through that I haven't already been through, so that helps quite a bit.
And you had a personal coach growing up, a Dr. Jim Suddy. Tell us about this gentleman and how his relationship with you affected your golf game and improved you along the way, and the benefit of having a coach.
I met Doc, who's one of the top 50 greatest instructors of all time. I met Doc when I was 17 as a freshman at NIU. And I drove to Methodist College where he was teaching at the time and spent a few days with him. And that was the beginning of the one and only coach I've had since I was 17. I entrusted pretty much all of my golf career to him, and he's been a great friend and a mentor. He helped me immensely as I was playing both full-time and as a college player and as a professional beyond. And once I didn't play as many competitive tournaments and started teaching and coaching, he was extremely supportive and helping mentor my information and experience about teaching and how the swing works, and has been a great friend for over 25 years, and a huge mentor and somebody I look up to and owe a lot of credit for helping me understand how to teach, and watching him do it. I still visit with him and still spend a lot of time talking to him.
That's awesome. And that probably paralleled on to one of your recent students, Blake Biddle, who received a Division I scholarship to the University of Nevada, to continue his golfing career. Now, you worked with Blake on a one-on-one basis for a long time. What was it about Blake that enabled him to get his golf game to the next level?
Blake's a special kid. He's one of those kids who I've been lucky enough to spend about 6 or 7 years since he was about 12 years old. And he's been an excellent student. He did get a scholarship to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. After his freshman year, got named the conference freshman of the year as a player to watch in Golf Week magazine as a freshman. And most recently, he was second alternate at the U.S. Open at Congressional, so I went to Congressional as his coach with him for the week. He didn't get into the tournament, but it was a neat week to be there as both a coach and a friend of his, inside the ropes, and see all the goings on from a coach's perspective.
And Coach, it's obvious you're passionate about helping people enjoy the game of golf, learn from it, improve, with the expectation that not everyone's going to make it to the PGA, but they can learn to develop a love for the game and a passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're fortunate enough to have you partner up with TechniqueDoctor. Can you explain the benefits of what receiving a video analysis or critique on their game if they're not physically able to come commute and take a lesson from you, the benefit of uploading a clip and getting a critique from you? What are they going to get, and what are they going to look for, and what should they expect?
The video is something I think is pretty helpful in today's world. Students oftentimes look at their swings and they may see it on a video, and they see tons of information. They see all the things, and they're not really sure what exactly they're looking for that correlates with what they're struggling with. So the video helps me give them information on real specific things that they should be looking for, very specific things that most directly related to what they're struggling with. With so much information out there, people are trying tons of different things, and they're onto the wrong topics most of the time. Coaches will look at that information and see more specifically, here's the root of what's causing all of these issues, maybe your posture or maybe your grip. And as a coach, I try to find those one or two things that will help the chain of events up the ladder a little bit quickly, improve quicker, rather than trying all the superficial things that sometimes players are trying to get to the root cause of it. And that'll help me to get them on a quicker path, and explain to them through the internet and through the website how to do that.
And each coach is going to have their own common set of fundamentals and philosophies. What's a couple of yours? If a golfer comes to you on day one, what are the core things you're going to look at in their stance, their grip, their swing technique? Can you tell us a couple of those?
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get the information about what their ball flight is. The ball flight's real important. If they're always slicing, if they're always hooking, if they struggle with contact. But my principal place I start is usually with how tall, their body size, and what their posture's like, how they set up to the golf ball, how much they're in balance, whether they have a proper grip. All of those things are the quickest way to improve, and without those fundamentals in place, many times posture will affect their swing plane, which affects the ball flight. And so by fixing the posture, a lot of times we can fix things without necessarily trying to fix them. We get to the core of ball position and where they put the ball related to the stance, and then those basic things are the things that I look for. And when I was at the U.S. Open, those are the things that the players seem to work on the most: the alignments and the way the body's positioned.
Okay. Now, between now and the time that these individuals start to upload clips and utilize TechniqueDoctor, what's one piece of advice you could give the everyday golfer that's looking for not so much an immediate improvement in their game, but something anyone can apply to their game?
It's really getting an understanding of the fundamentals, having the proper equipment, having equipment that fits the player. That's one of the most important things. Many times, that's some of the things I find cause swing flaws. Players compensating for equipment, but getting to a coach quickly. This is a hard game to what I call self-medicate. It's really hard. There's a reason the best players in the world have coaches, and they need that extra set of eyes, because what we feel as a player isn't necessarily what is actually happening. We don't always feel what we're doing, so we need that feedback, that analysis, that coach to help do that.
That's great. And Coach King, thanks for your time today. TechniqueDoctor looks forward to working with you and enabling golfers across the country the ability to get critiqued while receiving some drills and instructional tips from you to improve their performance.
Great, looking forward to it.
Thanks again, Coach.
Thanks.